Welcome to this explainer. I'm honestly so excited we're doing this today because over the next 7 minutes, we are going to build a completely wholesome, comprehensive understanding of online sales. We're going to completely transform how you look at digital marketing. We're stepping away from that stressful, random pile of tactics, and instead, we're focusing on building a reliable, predictable system. If you've ever felt like you're just throwing spaghetti at the wall online to see what sticks, you are in exactly the right place.
You know, it's such a frustrating reality, isn't it? You've probably seen it. A store is getting clicks, racking up views, driving a ton of traffic, but at the end of the day, their actual sales are completely flat. So why does that happen? Well, because random attention without an underlying system only ever leads to random results. Without a reliable path to guide that attention, honestly, it's just noise.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The digital marketing machine, 2. The 4 core mechanics, 3. Connecting the customer journey, 4. The power of sequencing, and 5. Seeing the bigger picture. Let's dive right in. All right, Section 1, the digital marketing machine, moving beyond just posting online. We really need to stop thinking about marketing as this pile of totally disconnected rooms, where you've got an ad over here, a social media post way over there, and some emails sitting in the corner. It's not like that. It is a hallway with doors. Your ads, your social media, your emails, they aren't separate things. They're interconnected parts of the exact same machine, and they're designed to move someone seamlessly from one step to the next. Moving right along to Section 2, the 4 core mechanics, the engine of growth. So this engine relies on 4 really simple but incredibly powerful steps. Notice, trust, choose, and return. Think of a notice kind of like someone pausing at a shop window. They haven't come inside yet, they've just stopped to look. The next step, trust, is like asking them to cross a small bridge over some water. You don't need them to understand the engineering of the bridge, they just need to feel completely safe crossing it. If your website is confusing or if it's lagging, well, that bridge looks shaky and they are definitely going to turn back. Now, this brings us to a massive reframe of the word conversion. We tend to think of conversion as aggressively convincing someone to buy something, but truly, a sale happens when a person's desire simply outweighs the obstacles in their way. Think of it like opening a really light door that was already mostly open. You're not forcing them through, you're just making the push feel completely effortless. It literally all comes down to 2 opposing forces, desire pulling them in and friction pushing them away. When a store gets a ton of interest but 0 sales, I promise you the culprit is almost never a lack of desire. The culprit is friction. It's those hidden shipping costs, it's a lack of product details, it's a clunky checkout process that takes 10 minutes. When you lower the friction, conversion just naturally happens. That brings us to Section 3, connecting the customer journey, handoffs, and flow. Think about marketing like pouring water through a set of connected containers. If even one of those containers has a hole in it, say you do this amazing job getting attention on Instagram, but then you drop them onto a super confusing checkout page, the water just leaks out, right? Growth completely stalls because that momentum was broken. At every single stage of this journey, your customer is asking one very specific question. At the discovery stage, they're simply asking, what is this? At consideration, it's, can I trust this? At purchase, should I buy now? And at repeat, should I come back? If your marketing fails to answer the specific question they have at that specific exact moment, nobody's entering the next part of your system. You have to meet them exactly where their head is at. And hey, this brings up a really major misconception. People are constantly pitting search and social media against each other, always asking which one is better. But guys, they aren't competitors. Search resolves intent. They already know what they want and they're actively looking for it. Social media interrupts discovery. They're just hanging out online and you happen to catch their eye. You wouldn't ask if a hammer is better than a screwdriver, right? They just solve completely different problems in the customer journey. Okay, Section 4, the power of sequencing, earning the decision. Sequencing your marketing is literally exactly like building a fire. You cannot start a fire by just holding a match to a massive log. You have to earn that decision. You start with Tinder for awareness, you add kindling for familiarity, fuel to build trust, and finally, you get a roaring fire, which is your actual conversion. If you show someone an ad for the very first time and immediately scream, buy now, it feels super premature. You haven't earned the decision yet. Let's make this super concrete with a quick micro-narrative of a modest fashion store. A customer first sees the brand through an Instagram reel that's just there to earn a little curiosity. Then they click over to the profile and see consistent photos and good reviews. Okay, that builds trust. Maybe they bounce, but later they get a targeted reminder explaining the totally free exchange policy. Boom, that lowers friction.
Finally, after buying, they get a genuinely helpful care message for the clothes. That builds retention. The sale didn't happen because of one lucky post. It happened because all these pieces cooperated perfectly together. And finally, Section 5. Seeing the bigger picture, moving from guesswork to control.
Here's the thing. Digital marketing is not old-school broadcasting. It's not a billboard on the side of a highway. It is an observable, living, learning system built entirely on feedback loops. If people click your ad, but then they abandon their cart, that feedback loop is telling you exactly where the funnel is leaking. You literally never have to guess. The system will tell you exactly what you need to fix.
So I want you to basically burn this quote into your brain. Digital marketing works when the right people move through the right experience in the right order. That is the absolute ultimate lens you have to use going forward anytime you evaluate an online store or a campaign. It's not about raw volume, it is entirely about relevance, sequence, and flow. Let me leave you with this final thought to chew on. Are you just posting online, kind of making noise and hoping for the best? Or are you meticulously building a system? Take a good hard look at your own business, or even the businesses you look up to, with these fresh eyes. Where exactly is the chain breaking? Find that broken link, fix the friction, and watch your system finally start to flow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I seriously cannot wait for you to put this stuff into practice.